today, obviously, special day, release day of the new album. I want to get the title right.
Magna Invocatio.
Agnostic Mass for choir and orchestra,
Yeah.
inspired by the sublime music of Killing Joke.
Yeah.
That's a double vinyl and double CD. Yeah. 13 tracks.
Yeah.
And today's the release date. Now, I wanted to know, to ask you what sort of like emotions you get on a day like this, because obviously it's a record that you've lived with for a while, you've put a lot of work into it, and now we're finally at the day where you can walk into a record store anywhere in the world and that's it. What are your hopes and aspirations for people that are picking up a copy of the album today?
The journey from the time that you start conceiving the idea, never mind the fucking funding, you conceive the idea to the time where it's in a record store. I mean, that's a journey in itself on a project like this. You know, what can I say? It's magic that it's happened.
Yeah.
The whole thing's magic, and the effect it's having is magic on people, on my life, everywhere.
Yeah.
Magna Invocatio is the only recording I've ever done where I've listened to it multiple times every day since the recording, and I can't stop listening to it because it lifts my spirit.
Yeah.
And you know, the idea of Gnostic Mass is that wherever you are, you can put the headphones on. I can commune directly with the hierarchy or angelic forces.
Right.
You know, in a time when there's darkness on the planet. You know, next year is going to be the most frightening year for humanity.
It's not looking great at the moment, is
Next
it?
year.
It's,
Next year.
This one
Right,
was better.
and it starts in early January. And the thing is, Killing Joke, myself, Killing Joke, we like the governing elites of the planet, use astrology.
right.
The astrology that we're coming into this next year is worse than 1933 and similar to it. Yeah. So the first thing we have to do is prepare for the day when banks don't work and there's no money out of cash point machines. Let's start thinking about where we get our food from and how.
Yeah.
And let's start thinking about that with our friends. Okay?
No, I hear
But haven't I
what
said
you're
this? I've said this for a while now.
It's weird, all your talks seem to be coming true. It's quite
Well, I wish they weren't coming true.
You wish they weren't?
Yeah, of course. You know, we're so close to a nuclear war because it's not like the Cold War. We're close to something called complex systems failure.
Right.
Which is when you've got cyber warfare going on with this and that. We're already in a shadow war with Russia. So my work in Russia, which has been going on for 7 years now, I see as all important as a bridge between America, United Kingdom, and Russia.
Do you think recording the album in Russia added something that wouldn't have been there if you
When I
were
was
recording it
recording
anywhere
it,
else?
recording it, all the British diplomats were expelled
Right.
in the tit for tat thing with the alleged poisoning case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, I remain probably the last Westerner recording artist, classical recording artist on a Western record label that works in Russia. I don't think there's anyone else.
Wonderful.
And you know, I'm a composing residence for St. Petersburg Philharmonic.
Yeah, I was going to say, how was it working with those? It
Well-
must have just been a dream come
Well,
true for a composer.
you know, although I live on a desert island, I'm probably going to move to Russia.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
So when nuclear war breaks out, I can think of as I'm getting obliterated, I can think of you getting obliterated in the complete madness of it all.
Russia and Jaz Coleman, that's not something I'd really
Well, I tend to
associate
work there more often. Often the temperature's 35 below zero. And you're screaming for your mum.
I want to talk a little bit more about the album as well, because I wanted to talk about how it felt with the Lucius Trust. I know is very important, and they seem to get involved at the right time. And how does it feel having sort of like, you know, the project that you're working on getting a sort of endorsement by a group like the United Nations? Surely that must.
I was a guest of the UN this week.
Sorry?
I was a guest of the United Nations.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, isn't it remarkable? I mean, the music of Killing Joke is now the official music of the spiritual arm of the UN. And that will be played at official functions in the UN.
How does that make you feel?
It gives meaning to the word Killing Joke.
Is it something that you could ever have envisioned happening?
Yes,
Yes.
because we took holy vows.
Right.
We took holy vows that you'll hear in the text on the third movement of Magna Invocatio. That's basically a shortened version of the Rosicrucian prayer that Paul and myself recited when we were teenagers.
Right.
So when you listen to it, when I listen to it, I feel like the magical passing of time in the gym. Wow, mind blowing. My God, you know this literally. It makes me go wow.
Yeah.
And that's it. When I listen to this work, it connects me with these forces. Yes, and that's why when you listen to it, it'll lift you up too, because I also designed it as a feast of the gods, which is to say, I noticed that every time I listened to Killing Joke, it gave me indigestion when I was eating. So I wanted to rescore Killing Joke so I could have it with a Sunday roast, with the appetizer, and the Sunday roast and pudding, you know. And then you just lighten the spliff up or lighten the cigar up, and it's still playing. So will you remember that when you have your next roast?
I will.
You put it on, and by the time we get to dessert, it's coming to the end. It's nice on Sundays. You can listen to Killing Joke on Sundays properly now.
I'm looking forward to it. I remember actually listening to Extremities back in the day, the first time I listened to that album. That made me physically ill. I just never heard anything that brutal. And I've always expected that from every Killing Joke release I've got. And to be honest, it's pretty much hit the button every time recently. It's been, it has that effect. So I've set the mood for this one. We only had a stream, we didn't have any copies of the album. So
have you heard Invocation?
I've heard it, yeah.
And Intravenous and everything.
Yeah.
So well, you can see. I love doing that one.
The space that you managed to achieve. Where did you actually record? Is it like, it sounds like it's recorded.
I recorded it in a radio
amphitheatre.
station in St. Petersburg,
Right.
which was, I believe, the old Melodia
Okay.
Soviet recording studios.
Right. Do you find it, like, I always imagine Killing Joke being a gang and going at things, like when you're writing and recording Killing Joke things, I'd imagine there's a lot of input for everyone. When you're taking on a project like this and you're responsible for everything, do you find that it's very easy to get too carried away? Like, do you know when a song is finished?
Sure I do.
Yeah. You're quite disciplined on that.
Yeah, you know, I have a system where I pass the music through my body. I pass the score literally through my body, and I can hear everything in my body. Not just through my ears, but in my body. I can feel it. I know where everything is, and it tells me what's right and what's wrong. I know where every instrument is on every bar inside my entire being. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have the sort of like scope to change?
It's like kinesiology. Like the body tells me everything.
Right. Do you go in with an actual structure for every single piece of music in a movement, or is there scope to sort of, because I'd imagine with bands, sort of like, you know, you're in a room, someone will just jam something off the cuff and everyone will jump on it as an idea.
There's no scope for that at all.
Right, okay.
But it ain't on, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
Right.
That means, say, if it's not written down, you won't get that. So it's as you write it,
Right.
as you score it. But you can do radical things on a session by dropping things out or muting things, you know, like this. But you don't normally start getting creative on a session by re-scoring or rewriting something at £300 a minute. It's not a good idea.
I mean, I read, well, I saw an interview where you were saying about the cost of it. It turned out to be quite an expensive project to actually get done.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when you feared that it might not happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be sure. Look, I have to tell you that first of all, the manager that put this together is long gone, and to my shame, I have murderous thoughts towards them. You know? Because this whole thing was a setup by somebody who had it in for me, who didn't even allow me access to Killing Joke's Facebook. It was just one of 1,000 things. So we had a very bad relationship. And he said to me, first of all, I'll peel 10 grand off and put it in your pocket. And because I had nothing at all to do with this project. And so it's been a nightmare. There was no preliminary budget done. It's been mismanaged. Money was whatever. There wasn't enough money anyway. But what there was, the dubious management I had then took that, and then Pledge went under. It was a number of things, and this same manager started saying, "We do songs from the Victoria City, which means I need the best Arabic players." And he said, and then when I did the budget, they wouldn't have any budget to fly the players over. I said it was a setup. It was a setup, you know, and I was really angry about it. I mean, I can't even tell you the truth. The truth is that when you hear the fifth movement, 5 is a great number for me. This piece of music, Invocation, you know, it's interesting. If you want to know the truth about it, it's hidden in the archives of the Royal Opera House, because music has a magical function sometimes, you know. Yeah. And I use this song when people betray me. It's a war song. It's a war song to warn betrayers. Okay. And I've done 3 versions of it. I did one with the Royal Opera House at my first opera, because it's the betrayal scene. Then I did once with Killing Joke, and this is the 3rd version where I've used a Sumerian war chant that's 14,000 years old. I was kind of pretty angry before I wrote that piece, you know.
Hopefully,
no, listen to me.
Huh?
Listen to me.
Yeah,
I was angry.
Yeah.
You know, someone found my daughter's phone number, and thought it'd be funny to say to my daughter that her grandmother's just died. But you know what? We went through AT&T, and I know who that is, right? So when you hear that track, remember, this is for them.
I think that's all like the side of things that people can't really relate to unless they're in that situation. So, you know, why would someone do that?
You know, like my daughter and my family, until we did loads of phone calls, we thought my mum was dead. And my daughter was screaming on the other end. Hey. there's only one person who had access to that number anyway. You know, this is the kind of people we're dealing with. And if you think that all these things that I've been talking about are interconnected, dot, dot, dot. So it's been a dark journey, but a wonderful one, and a victorious one because we've got there in spite of everything. And at the same time, I feel I've made more strides towards making peace between the West and Russia than anybody else in one go. Because they want war. They want war because most of them are mad. The people who are doing military planning, they think that by bringing about a world war, Jesus will turn up quicker. We may well laugh. But I had this conversation with people who know people in the Pentagon, one of them being Jello Biafra. This is the case. When you consider that over 60% of Americans believe in the rapture, with their cars, that means they're going to be beamed up to New Jerusalem with their cars. Yeah.
Do you think there's enough good people left in the world to avoid catastrophe? Do you think there's enough good people left to make a change?
Yes.
Yeah? There's work going on that gives you hope?
Yes.
Yeah?
We'll get through. Look, we need to have a conversation this time next year.
Yeah.
If we get that far, we're going to be okay.
Really with hope. Really with hope.
See you next year.
But, you know, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Killing Joke's here musically to hold everyone's hand.
Speaking of Killing Joke, I just wanted to touch you. You've done a few small gigs recently. Small gigs for you, I assume.
I've done 3 American tours in 12 months.
I know. I think the last time we spoke to you, you hadn't done American tours for a long time.
They're hard, aren't they? Killing Joke are hard fuckers, eh?
Yeah.
No, really, they're hard people, tough people.
That's some trick.
You know, I mean, they take a lot of punishment. We live a Spartan existence.
How was it all? Were you treated well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well.
Very well.
But we don't like this type, we don't like stadiums and this corporate style of setup. We're against it. We won't be doing the corporate stadium thing ever again. But we were treated very well. We had a wicked time with the guys until, who are kind of, you know, I've known for 25 years.
Yeah, you were like mates, weren't you?
Yeah, they're mates of ours. They're musical children and mates of ours, you know. And we were on stage with them and we had a great time with them. Yeah, you do like here, mate. You know that.
So, I mean, Tool is sort of like one of those uber big bands. I'm sure you were playing huge stages.
Massive. Some of them were 20,000, I think there's a couple of 50,000 seaters or whatever. They were massive, massive. Makes your head swim when you went out on stage. You don't want to look up, you get dizzy, you know.
How does it feel doing gigs like that where the majority of the crowd are new to Killing Joke?
Well, Killing Joke prefers a challenge.
Yeah.
They love it when there's a challenge, Killing Joke. They love playing before another band. They smell blood always.
Right.
You know, and so it's always a challenge. Well, you know, it helps when Maynard's telling everybody about our music every night. That helps. And then, of course, like people know through social media that he's saying that. So we're endorsed, as it were. And so, and we're playing fucking great. I mean, we got standing ovations every night. I feel like we've made serious inroads into stealing as many Tool fans as possible. I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean in a positive way. Well, I can tell you that's happening because you can have a look at our websites and we can see that it's made a massive impact. Tool have got a #1 record at the moment, you know, in America, and it's great to go out on tour with them.
It just seems that the band just keeps growing.
Well, at the same time I've been doing, releasing Magna Invocatio, and so I've made two visits to the United Nations now in 1 year, and it remains to be seen whether there will be any more United Nations, because America won't pay its dues.
That's right.
Which is 23%.
Right.
So they've got 2 more weeks of wages, and then no one's paid the UN.
Do you think that's the right thing to do?
And I think it's a terrible thing, because it's the only structure we've got whereby warring tribes can communicate.
Yeah.
Because you see, at the moment, it's not like the good old days of the old Cold War, where it was bilateral, which is to say there was a hotline between Moscow and Washington. And now, in a fragmented world with multiple warheads pointing in every direction, we're in danger of complex systems failure.
Right. How did you find the American perspective on it? Because obviously you met a lot of Americans on the tour, and I think a lot of time people get distorted by the way their governments are. They sort of think, right, well, they've elected this president, the majority of them must think like that. Did you find your perceptions change the more you met Americans on this tour and the one you did before?
I think that people are very kind, but you've got to see everything in perspective. I mean, in America, as I keep telling everybody, 80% of the population is 2 paychecks away from homelessness. It has the highest illiteracy rate in the Western world. I mean, there's more people in prison than colleges there. It's not a good model for the world. Yes, it's a dangerous beast, and I'm so glad I left in this country, because the leaders of this country have sucked up to America, always. There's not been one that has stood up and said, "I'm sorry, that's unacceptable for the people of the United Kingdom. You're bullying ways. This disgusting country has got air bases in everyone else's nation on planet Earth." And it started this whole Russia-phobia thing. They promised, James Baker III promised Gorbachev, we will not expand NATO. So when World War III breaks out, everyone can thank themselves for fucking not protesting, not making statements about our governments who've been doing these things in our name, expanding NATO eastwards, breaking that law that was promised to Mr. Gorbachev. NATO has encircled Russia. It's been fomenting wars on Russia's border in Ukraine. Russia is not an imperial nation. It doesn't seek to invade the United Kingdom or America. Whereas America has taken over all our nations. It's not a force for good. It's failed in its mission to unite the world in freedom.
Do you think that's an impossible dream now?
Yes.
Sort of the way things are.
Yes, I do.
It has to
I think my prediction is as soon as the petrodollar gives way to the petro yuan and is no longer the trading currency in petroleum, that the United States will fragment into different sections, parts. This and the effects of extreme climate change. And demographics. Mexico will enlarge its borders because of demographics of the people who live there.
That all just goes so under the radar, we just don't hear about that.
Well, in California alone, there's 5 million readers of People's Daily, the Chinese newspaper. The demographics in the end will change everything.
Speaking of demographics, though, with regards to music, I mean, you must be reaching so many new territories now that you never would have dreamed to have reached.
But then who works as hard as us? I mean, the band that we've been on tour with, it's 13 years between their last release and this one. We've done 3 albums in that time, and we've been touring hard.
Yeah, you have been busy.
Hard and in a Spartan manner. The way it should be. You see, because once you have too much comfort, your music sounds soft.
I don't think anyone could accuse your music of being soft there. So. Speaking of music, one record that seemed to go under the radar was the live at the Astoria out in September.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. It's one of the worst tours of our lives. But I haven't even seen it.
Really? I remember that gig.
But everyone says it's good.
It was a really, really good gig, and it just seems to have a different sound about it. You know what I mean? Do you have any particular memories of that show? Because I understand it was one of Paul's last shows with the band was recorded.
No, we did quite a lot of shows after that with Raven.
Yeah, like recordings that you
Oh, live recordings.
Yeah.
Well, I've never known when the recordings are live when they're not.
Right, okay. Well, it was a great sounding record anyway. I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen the DVD yet.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I mean, look, I saw it at the opening and I was really surprised how good the sound was. It's actually one of the best live recordings ever.
It's quite a lovely old venue though, wasn't it, the Astoria?
I love it. I miss all that.
Yeah.
Look at the shithole we're creating now. Look at it all.
Oh.
Concrete and glass everywhere.
It's awful.
I don't even recognise it around Tottenham Court Road. It's a different place.
I get lost every time I get out of the
Yeah,
queue.
but you know, it's a different place, different time now.
It's a shame.
Everything is resembling a termite mound.
Yeah, it is.
And that really is the aim of the UN Agenda 21, is to move everybody away from the wilderness areas.
Yeah. It's scary stuff. People are just buying into it, aren't they? It's just happening. And people aren't batting an eyelid. You just drive them past an empty space, and the next thing is this big silver building that no one knows what it's for.
Well, it's all backhanders with planners and corrupt councils. You know, you can't trust human beings. And that's why government must resemble jury service, so there's no vested interests. Right? You know, until there's further augmentations to the human condition, we can't trust human beings. They're greedy, warlike. That's because they've got the genes of primates mixed with the genes of exo-intelligences. And they're going in opposite directions. Part of us doesn't want to be on this planet. It yearns for somewhere else. Our bodies only want cooked food. They don't like food in its natural state. Part of our DNA makeup is not from here. That's why we're at war with ourselves.
Right. I suppose it's all about trying to find your own bit of peace, because you've moved around a lot. I know you live a bit of a subterranean lifestyle. But I hear you're in South America now. You spend quite a lot of time out there. How is that compared to it? Because I imagine that's a step back from like the stuff we have to deal with.
I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you just as a lesson. Right? I'm living in rent-free luxury. Right? Just to remind you. Sorry.
Too kind.
It's what we must all aspire to.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how much we waste on rent and these fucking mortgages and stuff.
Yeah.
We can do better things with that money, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So it's one thing we have to concentrate harder on, is how to live a rent-free existence. Well, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
I just keep moving. I don't mind hardship.
Yeah.
I don't even mind moving country with no money in my pocket. I trust myself. Through my 20s, from Revelations onwards, I would move country and I'd make a point of taking no more than £10 with me. I would stay in South America for 6 weeks on that. I'd meet someone who, and I'd find my way how to survive. I actually made a point of doing this, so that I wasn't tyrannised by money or poverty. I moved country like this loads of times. Middle East I would do like this. I go to the mosques, because you could always feed yourself on a Friday in the mosque, as a stranger. right? I'm crazy, mate.
So whereabouts are you in South America? So I know
I'm in Lima.
You're in Lima?
In Peru.
Okay.
And I go between there, Sao Paulo and San Jose in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Because I'm working with Boo Records, and that's where they got bases.
Okay. Because you did some work with a band that I really, really like, the Deaf Kids.
Oh, this new
Sao
record
Paulo, I believe.
is fucking on fire.
Yeah. Did you do the whole record? I know you were involved in producing some stuff for them. Did you?
I don't know what they've got out now, but I've done one that's not out yet.
Right. Yeah.
And fundraised for them,
Right.
and we've done an awesome recording, mind blowing, revolutionary.
Does it restore your faith in music to actually hear young bands doing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
different?
Well, you know, no one's got any money, so I help fundraise the recordings that I do with them.
Right.
You know, it's part of the whole thing that I want to do with the UN.
Yeah.
Which is for classical music as well.
Mm.
Also, you've got Liquidala Celuloide of Peru, who have just done their new record, and they're like one of Peru's revolutionary bands.
Okay.
And then I did De Flor of Italy, because I like them. All these bands supported Killing Joke at some point.
Oh wow.
And they were the ones that just totally inspired me, and I don't mind doing anything for them. Right? They're like people I believe in. I mean, the deaf kids, when you see their kind of little society they created in a sort of in a country where a president is trying to stop bands from existing,
Right. Yeah.
and it's cut all funding to orchestras, and is burning down the Amazon with his farmer friend who's got death squads. And they're a band that exists and create heaven on earth in the midst of all this, the way I see it. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I'll work for them. Sure.
Excellent. I really like them. They're one of the most exciting
They're
bands I've heard.
wonderful
Very
people.
good.
And there's another band with deaf kids in Sao Paulo that they always play with, which is Ratka.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good, and it's a girl industrial band, and they're awesome, and they co-headline together.
Right.
It was a bit like Killing Joke and Joy Division.
Yeah.
These two,
Yeah.
they do this co-headline, and so I'm going with them, these two Brazilian girls, to Lebanon to do a recording with them now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I know you wanted to do a bit of searching and sort of like.
Well, I'm setting up a
South
club
America,
next
right?
year, which would be like a travelling club which I'm going to take around South America,
Right.
which would be a masquerade party. Everybody has to wear masks and everything.
Okay.
It'd be skanky, women and midgets and tarot cards, geezer.
What
With
do you
3
think?
bands and visual artists working with the bands with different stage sets, and it'll start at 5 o'clock and it'll go on late, and there's, you know, smoking and everything in our club.
So what's next then? You're looking forward to spending a bit of time with the family after the manicness.
I didn't say that.
Running around.
You said that? I didn't fucking say that at all. I don't agree with that at all. You said that, oh, go and look after himself, man. No.
Well, you're going to spend a bit of time with your daughter.
Save the jazz fund, geezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well what's next then for Killing Joke? 40 years now.
First class flight on Singapore Airlines.
Yeah.
Home to a beach.
For a break. Yeah. Or we still
Break a few necks, more like. I know, look, you know, I do like being on the front line of things, so, but I need to recharge my batteries too. So, no, when I go to New Zealand, I'm aiming at training hard with my body with this guy called Richie Hardcore.
Okay.
And he's like good friends, and I'm having a barbecue with the only politician I like in the world, which is our Prime Minister in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Yeah.
And my commitment to counterculture and rock music, like revolutionary rock music. Yeah. But counterculture means that counterculture is really important now, and we need the art centres of the future, art centres that are built on farms, because I can foresee the time when, if there's no money from the cash pot machines, and the city's only got 3 days of food, where we can't even think about music if we're getting hungry, or the arts, until our primary needs are met. So the art centres of the future are farms.
Self-sufficient.
And this is what I'm building in South America and New Zealand. I've been doing it for a while. It also those mad. Now half of Silicon Valley wants to move to New Zealand. But Jacinda's making sure that that's not so easy. It's a funny old world, isn't it?
It is. It's a funny
Well, fucking
world.
great to see you, mate, on your
It's
feet.
really good to see
I
you
was
as
thinking
well,
of
mate.
you all
It's
that
been
time.
a-
She's kept me updated, and
Yeah.
but, you know,